Coming up, an unusual self-help guide,
A supernatural road trip with some heart.
plus our distraction of the week. I'm Mel.
I'm Dave. This is the Library of Lost Time.
The author Kate Jackson knows a lot about crime novels, particularly classic crime fiction from the golden age of mysteries. She writes a blog called Cross-Examining Crime, where she does gajillions of book reviews. And she's been published in magazines like Crime and Detective Stories, Mystery Scene, and the Mystery Reader's Journal. And she has also written 2 books of literary puzzles for the British Library's Crime Classic series.
Huh.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Her latest book is How to Survive a Classic Crime Novel. It's a spoof of a self-help guide, just in case you find yourself in the middle of an Agatha Christie-style murder plot.
Oh, we've got the Manor House weekend coming up.
You said we weren't allowed to talk about the murder.
Just to be clear, we are not planning any murders at the Manor House. Can't guarantee there won't be any, but we're not.
If I said that, I would be in so much trouble. Moving on.
Yeah.
This book is structured around the concept of one day. So it starts with you waking up and taking a look at the dangers in the house. Perilous stuff like poison-laced food, unexpected gifts, whether or not you should lock the bathroom door. Thanks for planting that in my head.
Yeah.
Then other chapters delve into classic tropes like dangerous holidays, doomed romance, the perils of the office, troublesome trains, and what to do if you come across a dead body. The chapters are broken up with original illustrations by an artist named Joanna Lisowitz. She specializes in really lovely black and white illustrations that look like woodcuts. Side note, she also did the illustrations in The Wolf Hall Companion,
Oh, nice.
which is a neat little book that delves into the people and history in the Wolf Hall trilogy. In addition to the illustrations in this book, the pages are sprinkled with spoiler-free references to tons of Golden Age crime novels and authors. One of the reviews I read counted the mentions of other books in the first 2 chapters. There were 229.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a syllabus for your own course on classic murder mysteries, except it's like super fun. If you enjoy the works of Agatha Christie, Niall Marsh, Dorothy Sayers, that kind of thing, you will probably enjoy the heck out of this book. And it would also make a really fun pairing with Your Guide to Not Getting Murdered in a Quaint English Village by Maureen Johnson and Jay Cooper. That one also has tongue-in-cheek advice and New Yorker-style illustrations. Super cute. They would make a great gift together or separately for the mystery lover in your life.
And then you'd be prepared.
And then you'd be prepared.
Just in case.
Careful with your tea. This book is How to Survive a Classic Crime Novel by Kate Jackson.
T.J. Klune is an American author, and trying to describe his work quickly is a little tricky. So instead, I'm just going to hit you with a bunch of buzzwords. He writes fantasy, particularly low fantasy, magical realism, kind of. He's whimsical, cozy, he's hopeful, and he's emotionally devastating in the best possible way.
Love it.
Yeah. For example, he's got a well-regarded werewolf romance series. He's got a book about a man learning how to be a better person in a charming tea shop in the afterlife.
That sounds really cute.
Yeah. One reviewer compared his work to Ted Lasso. Lots of cute and then bam, right in the feels. His books celebrate love in the LGBTQ plus community, and he's big on the theme of found family. The people who love his work love his work. On Goodreads, he has over 20 books with at least 4.2 stars. You might know Klune from his 2020 book, The House in the Cerulean Sea, which...
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's about a caseworker who's sent to evaluate an orphanage for magical children. Here's part of the official blurb. It says, when Linus is unexpectedly summoned by extremely upper management, he's given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to Marzias Island Orphanage, where 6 dangerous children reside. A gnome, a sprite, a wyvern, an unidentifiable green blob, a were-Pomeranian, and the Antichrist.
Amazing. Where Pomeranian?
Yeah. Oh, the terror of a were Pomeranian. Which brings us to his new book, The Bones Beneath My Skin. So it's 1995. A journalist freshly fired from his job in D.C. retreats in sorrow to his family's summer cabin in the middle of the Oregon woods. He expects his cabin to be empty. It is not. Inside the cabin, he finds a man and a 10-year-old girl. She calls herself Artemis Darth Vader, and she is not what she appears to be. And from there, we're off on a supernatural road trip thriller complete with cultists and federal agents and helicopter chases and government conspiracies, plus a little romance and some found family. One reviewer described it as a cozy action thriller.
Nice.
Yeah, a phrase I do not remember seeing anywhere else. If you're looking for a book to escape into, something to distract you from all of this, he said, broadly waving around, this might be the ticket. It's The Bones Beneath My Skin by T.J. Klum.
And now our distraction of the week. Distraction of the week.
Kevin Kelly has been writing about technology for the last 40 years or so. He was one of the founders of the magazine Wired, but you might also know him from his books. Most of those are about the way technology shapes our lives, or will soon. Despite that, he's known for his radical optimism. For instance, he's got a TED Talk called The Future Will Be Shaped by Optimists, and we'll link to that. As you might expect, Kelly has traveled quite a bit, both for business and for fun or self-discovery. And he recently put together a list he calls 50 Years of Travel Tips. And I found that list interesting, and I thought you might too. Some of his tips, I don't want to call them obvious, but if you've been traveling for a while, these ideas will eventually present themselves. Those are things like this bit. He writes, the best souvenirs from a trip are your memories of the trip. So find a way to memorialize them. Keep a journal, send updates to a friend, take a sketchbook, post some observations, make a photo book. And yes, do that for sure. He talks about how good Google Translate is. And yes, Google Translate is a freaking miracle. I would not want to travel without it. I would not want to live in Prague without it. Same with Google Maps. Google Maps can get you through most cities' public transit systems. They're both a joy of modern living. I think if you've been traveling for a while, you might already know that stuff. But if you're new to it, those are super helpful tips. And then he has some tips that I can enthusiastically second. He wrote this. When visiting a foreign city for the first time, take a street food tour. Depending on the region, the tour will include food carts, food trucks, food courts, or smaller eateries. It will last a few hours, and the cost will include the food. You'll get some of the best food available, and usually the host will deliver a great introduction to the culture. Google Street Food Tour for City X. And yes to that. Here's another. The most significant criteria to use when selecting travel companions is, do they complain or not? Even when complaints are justified. No complaining. Complaints are for the debriefing afterwards when the travel is over.
Yes.
Can confirm.
100%. I would actually extend that to going out to dinner or going to a show or movie.
Yeah.
Any complaints are for afterwards.
Yeah.
Just make the experience the best you can, even if it's not going the way you want it to.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. When you're standing in the rain and just missed your ride in some city you don't know, that is not the time to point out that you are miserable. We all are. It might be a good time to laugh. But later back at home, sure, tell the story. And then Kelly had a few tips that just maybe, I don't know. So I'm going to read you two. He writes, if you hire a driver or use a taxi, offer to pay the driver to take you to visit their mother.
Wow, said an extrovert.
They will ordinarily jump at the chance. They fulfill their filial duty, and you will get easy entry into a local's home and a very high chance to taste some home cooking. Mother, driver, and you leave happy. This trick rarely fails.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard of people inviting like their tour guide or their Uber driver to a meal, but someone's house.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
I just like, once I got over the shock of that idea, I was like, maybe, right? Should we try this? Is that different for two people traveling together? I have questions.
I have to admit, the back of my brain is going, nope, 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 nope.
The second one has a sort of a similar energy. It reads, crash a wedding. You are not a nuisance. You are the celebrity guest. The easiest way to do this is to find the local wedding hall where weddings happen on schedule and approach a wedding party with a request to attend. They will usually feel honored. You can offer the newlyweds a small token gift of cash if you want. You will be obliged to dance. Take photos of them. They will take photos of you. It will make your day and theirs. I've crashed a wedding in most of the countries I've visited.
Again, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the key is the permission part, which the word crash kind of violates.
Yes.
Also, a gift would be an excellent idea in that situation. But, also, if they say, yes, you're going to a wedding in a foreign country.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems really fun. That's what I like about this list. It's not sort of just practical advice. It's an invitation to reframe how we travel, right? So bring the right gear and use the right apps and don't complain, but also say yes. Be open to surprise. Trust that the world is full of people who want to share a meal with you and maybe even drag you onto a dance floor at their cousin's wedding. And I think that's the sort of spirit of Kelly's optimism, too. It's not just about technology. It's about people. That if you show up curious, if you bring generosity and good humor, the world will meet you halfway. So I'll link to the full list. Read it. Let me know if you're planning on crashing a wedding anytime soon. And if you've already done it, oh my God, tell us everything.
Visit strongsenseofplace.com/library for more on the books we talked about today and all of those wonderful travel tips.
Thanks for joining us in the Library of Lost Time. Remember to visit your local library and your independent bookstore to lose some time yourself.
Stay curious. We'll talk to you soon.